So my hope with bar graphs is that some of this is some review for a lot of you. So we're just going to kind of quickly go through. We'll do guys and girls in the class. So how many guys are in the room right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in there. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 females in here. So what would, on our vertical axis, we'd want to pick a number that's easy to divide and that fits everybody. So what number would we use? We've got 10 guys and 6 girls. What number would be an easy one to use that would be able to include everybody? 20?
15.
10? 15?
Because there's 11 males.
Well, I'm not counting me yet.
Oh,
Okay. So, at least you said 20. That would include everybody, right? That's if we put everybody in one bar, like if we just did students. But because we're splitting it male and female, we could actually use either 10 or 15. We could use 20. It's just a little big. So, if you pick, let's just go with 10. Okay, at the top there. That's an easy number to divide up. So when I'm looking at numbers, 10's easy to divide. If you picked 11, that's not very easy to divide, right? And then when I look at the bar, I like to visualize about halfway. That would be what? 5. And in my mind, I can usually break up 0 to 5 and 5 to 10 pretty easily by putting hash marks in. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty evenly spaced. Any more than 5, it starts to get hard to break them up. To break them up and try to keep them even. Because we want our interval, that spacing between, to be even. Okay. So pick an easy number to divide, pick an interval that we can go, and I would not try to do more than 5 as like to cut it in half. So like if you had 20 here, I wouldn't go down to 10, and then I would and then try to put one mark for each one. I would go 20 to 10, and then halfway between that would be 15, and then fill in the ones in between there. So we had how many males in here that were not me? We had 10 of them in here. So then you'd make your bar up to 10. And we had how many females? 6. So we'd go up to 6. Okay. Easy to see, easy to represent. That's what we call a single bar graph. There's a single bar on each one. The other type of bar graph would be a double bar graph. And with that, you'll typically have either different colors you'll use or different shading you use. And then you'll have this like legend or key.
Like months.
So let's just say we've got this here, and we'll do all of this here, that. This represents one type of data. And the other one, maybe we'll make polka dots. And this one here would represent students. And maybe our other one could represent teachers. So we have in this room one male teacher. So you do your polka dots on that one. You could shade differently. You could shade one, not shade the other. But just so that's called a double bar graph. It's got 2 sets of data on the same bar graph. Mm-hmm. Okay. Setting the scale. So that's kind of what you're going to do on the side there. We did that. So what I'm doing is I am looking at the range of values. So in this case, we went from 0 people all the way to 10. And I do that before starting. If you do that after, then you end up like putting all your marks on your graph, and at the end then you're doing a bunch of erasing, and it just doesn't work well. And you want to pick a maximum which is greater than or equal to your largest data. So for us, we picked 10 was our largest data, and we used that one as that number. We had 10 males. Could we have done 15? Yes. It's greater than 10. We don't want to do 9 because we wouldn't all fit them. Doing okay on bar graphs?
Yeah.
So the next type of graph we have here is what we call a line graph. Line graphs help represent data over time. Notice on the bottom it's got the months there, and this represents Mr. Falk's bank account. I don't know where he spent all his money in July.
He bought a mansion.
Bought a mansion maybe. Well, it's a pretty cheap mansion because it's less than $5,000 is what, you know. So, but notice that you could have, you know, June 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you know, all the way on there, but it's not on there. So it's just kind of, what story could we tell with this, right? So, yeah, Mr. Falk, you know, went into June, you know, he kind of, after school, relaxed at home and didn't really do anything. And then, you know, his money kept growing through July because he was really just sat on the couch for most of the summer. Then all of a sudden he decided to go on vacation and, you know, rented a yacht, and so he spent a lot of money in July. And then didn't spend as much, so his bank account slowly, you know, went back up type thing. So this is a single bar or a single line graph. And so I just made that one orange there. So the orange line is Mr. Falk. Well, maybe you want to represent somebody else on there too. So you put Mr. E on there, and you're like, well, he spends all his money before the school gets out, and then saves a lot of money, and then bought a bunch of stuff, and then spent some, or saved some, bought some stuff. You know, he's kind of something like that maybe, right? Doesn't have any money when school starts, right? Because he went and bought, you know, games and candy for all the kids, so there's no money left. But that would be what we would call a double line graph.